What's up, dispatchers? Today I'm going to teach you the best method to force a patina onto your carbon steel blade. Do you want premium ad-free content? Duh. Content that's not censored by big tech, of course. Well, with SD Insider, you can get behind the scenes and a whole lot more. Link in the description. A patina is a layer of discoloration or black oxide that forms on a knife over time. The end goal here is to protect the knife from red oxidation or rust. Now, a good patina takes years and years and years to form, but we're going to do it in under 10 minutes. Now, there are lots of ways to do this. You can use mustard, hot sauce, lemons, basically anything with acetic acid in it. But that takes time. Boiling distilled white vinegar is the simplest, fastest, most effective method you can use. Obviously, you're going to need some kind of container to boil your vinegar in. Now I'm going to take my stove, turn it on, and I'm going to use my Wazoo spark to light it off. Now we can put our container onto the stove. Now the blade that I'm going to be forcing a patina on today is my brand new Ulu from Bear Forest Knives. Now this blade was designed by my good friend Jason Salyer with On3. And pretty soon I'm going to be doing a wilderness challenge with just a pocket survival kit, and this is the blade that I chose. Obviously I want to get it ready before I go off into the field. Now while we're waiting for that to boil, there's a couple things we got to do. Number one, we're going to take a bottle and we're going to cut the top off of it. Now before we actually force the patina, I'm going to take the blade, I'm going to pour a little water into a container, add a little bit of Dawn. I'm going to take a Scotch-Brite, mix up the solution, and then I'm just going to clean the blade. There we go, that's pretty clean. Now I'm just going to wipe it down with my Shimog. Get it nice and dry. And now that that's done, I'm going to get some of the brass wire out of my 23-piece adventure kit. Now that I've got some wire, I'm just going to shove it back down into my sheath just to make sure that it all stays together. Now I'm going to wrap a little bit of this brass wire around the blade itself. Take the other end and I'm going to wrap it around a stick just like this. Now that our vinegar is boiling, we can go ahead and pour it into the cup we made. Now we can place the blade into the container. Just make sure that the blade is completely submerged. Now, a lot of people are going to be asking, do I have to put it into a plastic cup? And the answer is no. I just wanted you to be able to see the chemical reaction. The next question is going to be, well, how long do I leave it in there? Well, personally, I wait about 10 minutes. Now, it hasn't been quite 10 minutes, but we're going to look at it just to see what it looks like. Oh, that is starting to look righteous. Now, to get it a little bit darker, we're just going to stick it back in for a couple minutes. Now, the reason that I prefer this method is because I know it's going to get in all the nooks and crannies and it's going to have a nice, even patina. Now, you can do the cold method just by wetting down a paper towel and then putting it in some tin foil and leaving it overnight, but I just don't think the results are the same. This is definitely the best method that I have found so far. Another method is to take the knife and stab it into a potato and leave it overnight. You may be asking, what's something that I can do in nature to have the same effect? And a lot of bushcrafters utilize the husk off of a walnut. Walnut contains iodine, juglone, and tannin in it. All you gotta do is break the husk apart and dab it on the knife, but believe me, at the end, your hands are definitely going to be stained. You may remember your grandfather's old hickory butcher knife that's in the kitchen and just how black it was. Well, that came from years and years of use. Today we utilize acetic acid and heat to speed up that process. Now the next question is probably going to be, well, how often should I do this? Well, it really depends on how often you use the knife. I usually do it 1, 2, or 3 times in the beginning, and then I'll do it, I don't know, 1 or 2 times a year just to maintain it. Another question that frequently comes up is, does it hurt the edge of the blade? The answer is no. It's not going to eat into the blade that bad. I usually strop mine at the end just to give it a nice polished edge anyway. All right, it's been a couple minutes. Let's take her out and take a look. Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about. Now once you pull it out, you can undo that brass wire, but you're still not done. First you need to dry it off. Then we've got to put it back in the soapy water so we can neutralize the reaction. Now once you get it out of the soapy water, all you got to do is dry it off again. That is really starting to look good. Now once you're done with that, it's good to put your favorite oil on there. I use mineral oil because my blades often come in contact with stuff that I eat. Now you can go ahead and buff it out, put it back in its sheath, and she's ready to go. Now my Ulu is ready for the next challenge. Bonus, How to put bitchin' red tiger stripes on your larger blades. By the way, your mother called and said that you had to clean your blade before you could play. Soapy water, denatured alcohol, Tide Pods. I'm just kidding about the Tide Pods, but in theory it would work. You just don't want to cross into that ballpark. The temptation might be too strong. It puts the mustard on the blade. Now it takes the toothbrush and it makes cool designs, just like this. Then you just let it dry. Now you may notice I only did it on one side of the blade, and that's because I just didn't take the time to make a vise out here in the woods. If you're at home and you don't have a vise, then just get a couple sticks out of your yard and do it like I'm doing it right now. You could just flip it over and do the other side tomorrow. Now when the mustard's dried all up, all you have to do is wash it like you would any other dish in the sink. And if you don't like the results, you can just do it again. And when you're happy with the results, remember there's always time for lubrication. For just 3 or 4 clicks, you could help a starving content creator. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you're honey smack digging the content, get in the comment section and use the force. And don't forget to fuel the fires.